Diversity comes in many shapes and sizes, people and places, labels and identities. It is our job to keep everyone safe, and it's on us to change UMass. What will you take away from Education 115?
This class has opened my eyes to evidence of sexism and racism and classism that I've never seen before, but after learning about it and talking about it, I see it in the way my friends talk, I see it in jokes all around me, I kind of see it everywhere now.
This class has made me look at things a lot differently now. I look at other people's perspectives a lot differently. Like, I know, like, me being able-bodied, I can use anything pretty much, but someone that's handicapped can't use every stall, so like that makes me think whenever I go into the bathroom, like I will not use the handicap stall now, anything like that. You just gotta, I'm grateful for my unearned privileges.
I think this class taught me how serious these issues actually are in our everyday lives. Like, I grew up in a town that was very privileged, very wealthy, and everybody had the same opportunities, so I didn't really see these huge issues. But now that I'm here, I'm noticing how big these things actually are, and I'm learning more about them. That's what I got out of this class.
This class has taught me that privileges exist in this world, and I didn't really know about that before, but now I understand the privileges that I have. And growing up in a primarily white, wealthy town, I wasn't really used to diversity, but here at UMass and this course has taught me that it exists and that we have to do something about it in order to change it. Not just one group of people, but everyone combined.
I think this class taught me a lot about my own privilege. Before this class, I knew white privilege and male privilege was a thing, but I really didn't understand the extent it played in our lives.
I think this class really taught me a lot about how much diversity and diversity issues can affect people, not just here on campus, but in general. The town that I grew up in was very diverse and even well off, so I personally never experienced much oppression at all. Even being an Asian female, that never seemed to be a problem for me, and I never felt like I was being held back in any way. So now that I'm in this class, I'm starting to realize that there's so much more going on, and there are always diversity factors that are playing into people's lives, even if you can't see it at all times.
What do you think is the biggest problem in terms of diversity here at UMass?
So diversity is kind of seen everywhere, or I at least notice it, especially in my major. I'm a civil engineer, and I think there's 2 girls out of the 30 people in my class. So people kind of steer away from certain things just because they don't think they can do it like girls. Sometimes steer away from certain aspects of work or anything like that just because not many girls might be doing this, and so they don't think they have a chance, and it's just kind of these social, what's the word for it? Yeah, social norms. And so people kind of follow these social norms, these rules, when sometimes they don't even realize it, and so they don't end up doing what they really want to do. And so there's a lot of stuff like that that kind of causes problems for everyone, and it's kind of sad that that's kind of guiding people's lives, and it needs to be changed, but it's going to be something hard to change.
The biggest problem in terms of the diversity that's affecting UMass?
Personally, I think that the problem is sexism. There's a lot of problems on our campus with sexual assault. I know that a lot of groups are forming. There's the Men to End Rape Coalition. There's also Coalition to End Rape Culture, and kind of the general problem that sexual assault happens between both men and women, and we kind of have to work together and kind of stop rape culture.
Classes. Probably mostly because race and gender plays into classism. I mean, I know a lot of people who've talked about how the white man's dollar is 70 cents to the white woman's dollar, but then when you add in other races, nobody makes as much as the white man. women of color don't make as much as white women. And that plays into like brackets within society and whatnot. And there's that myth that this American myth that you can keep moving forward and move up within society when really that's not the reality of it. But how that relates to UMass, specifically I'm thinking of the Honors College, because you have to pay to get in, which is ridiculous, and you don't actually get anything out of it, in my humble opinion.
It actually makes your life miserable.
Yes, it does. I suggest not doing the thesis, but yeah, and that creates and fosters an environment of elitism within the school, and it's very much along race lines, mostly race lines, less so gender lines, I believe.
Can you give an example of a situation you've experienced where you faced oppression?
So I've never really had any experiences in my life where I felt like being a white person has given me that much of a privilege. So.
I guess something I've encountered was this past semester I was held at knife point due to racial kind of differences. I was standing in front of my fraternity house and someone tried to get inside, and it was very, very, I don't know how you could say, it's very unexpected that a black male would confront me, hold me at knife point to get inside my house, and then due to these differences, you know, it escalated very, very, just escalated very quickly.
Mm-hmm.
So I get in fights with my dad and my brother a lot because I have this thing where like all men are potential rapists. Like that's just the end of it, the be all end all of my existence, because I have been assaulted or sexually abused since I was every year on average since I was like 16. So that's like 8 times. Maybe 9. Some ridiculous number. Yeah, I see your face. And so like the only thing that these people had in common was not their skin color, it wasn't how much money they had, it was not their religion, it was literally just the fact that they're men. So I say that all men are Schrodinger's rapists. I take all men with a grain of salt. I have pepper spray, I have like all the stuff, I have a lot of self-defense training. And it really, really offends men on a personal level when I talk about this stuff. And it's just like, well, I'm sorry I'm hurting your feelings, but I'm pretty sure my personal safety is a little more important than your emotions right now at this moment in time. Mostly what I experience in terms of oppression, because now that I am fully capable of defending myself, and I'm just like, I will rip your guts out if you touch me the wrong way, is the not all men argument, which makes me laugh so much, because it's just like so defensive and just shouldn't be part of the conversation at all. Because yeah, I'm fully aware that not all men are rapists, but all men are Schrodinger's rapists because they're not monsters. Rapists are not monsters. Bill Cosby's scandal has clearly shown that. They're never obvious. You really have to read a person to understand what's going on inside their head. And it's hard, and it's really stressful, and it's really difficult. And I'm personally tired of looking over my shoulder at night and seeing how far away a shadow is from me, and like keeping my hand in my pocket on the pepper spray or my knife, like just wondering. It's really, really tiring. So that's the oppression that I experience on this campus. Maybe not intentional, probably not intentional, but it's definitely still there, and I'm definitely not alone.
What do you think can be done to prevent these social justice issues from continuing here on campus?
Okay, I guess to change all these problems on our campus, we have to kind of educate our students, kind of learn why these things happen. We can't stop until our campus is kind of educated about these issues, kind of make sure that people know the different resources to solve these problems, such as like the police station. Don't be afraid to call. Talk to RA, talk to administrators to kind of resolve your issues, things like that.
Oh, I would say education. That would be my first answer, but I mean, you can only do so much with education. I personally think that would be the best way to go, I think, in terms of trying to stop whatever oppression that is happening. Educating people is probably the best way, because letting people know that they have privilege and letting people know that they have an ability to promote change and have the ability to spread that knowledge that they have, it would help reduce it. I don't think it would correct everything, because you can't correct everyone, but that's pretty much it, education.
It's on us to stop sexism.
It's on us to educate each other.
It's on us to end racism.
It's on us to eliminate rape culture.
It's on us to change sexism.
It's on us to reduce the wage gap.
It's on us to stop racism.
It's on us.
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 To change UMass.